wash away the pain. There's a new day to take away your sorrow, and the old ways get washed out by the rain. Darling, you've got to keep holding on through the night, 'cause I promise you this: if you try to get some sleep, if you give up the fight, if only just for a bit.
So next year, I'll be starting my seeds in there. That's another thing I'm going to be doing differently. But over here, this area, we're going to plant a lot of herbal flowers that'll kind of come back year after year. I like this little area of the garden. It's kind of nice. Another thing that I'm going to do is, you see these ground cherries? I'm going to plant the ground cherries along this area, but they're going to be more like border plants. So they'll go along the border. I probably won't plant as many. Gotta see the cicada. Ah! Oh, it let itself go. I guess it's not gonna be spider food after all. Wow, that was crazy. They scare me. All right, we're gonna try to step on this thing and feed it to the chickens, but it makes me nervous whenever it moves.
Do you want to drop a rock on it, or?
No, I think I smushed it. I smushed it into the ground. Now you get to pick it up, Olivia. Right there.
Can't see.
Get down there. You're not gonna be able to see from how tall you are.
I know.
It's dead. It's not gonna. Quit being such a girl, man.
Lydia has
Did you get it, Lydia? Lydia's like, this is my favorite. This is my blackberry that's gone nuts, especially after pruning it. It's gone crazy. So there's that other blackberry. And then I'm gonna transplant my one blackberry back there to go over there. And that will give me my wall of blackberries. I won't be planting sunflowers over here. Sunflowers were over here intentionally to soak up some toxins. And next year, I'm actually planting a couple of trees in the corner. And then this area over here, I have not quite decided what I'm gonna plant over here yet. But I will be planting something here that will produce some sort of food. Totally digging my blueberry garden area. And one of the things I did the previous years was I planted sunflowers all along here to shade the goats. And then once they stopped producing flowers, then I would just toss them over and put them down, and the goats would just have a heyday with them. So I'm gonna do that next year. I really enjoy that. These teepees will be for peas. We'll get those planted here soon. I've got my daylilies and the blueberries. And I actually think I'm gonna plant, you see this, it's kind of overtaken this one blueberry bush, but that's the blue spice blueberry that smells like blueberry muffins. That's definitely getting planted again next year, but I have no clue where I'm gonna plant it. I do like these zinnias right here in between the blueberries, and I might just plant these zinnias in between the blueberries because they don't get as big. I really, really enjoy them. And then I love this on the end of the rose. So I definitely am going to plant it on the other, well, I did plant it on the other side, but the ducks ate them. So definitely planting this again here. Don't let anybody tell you that you absolutely have to trellis your tomatoes. You see that? I have tomatoes growing. It's doing something. In reality though, I'm gonna be trellising my tomatoes again next year. Or not again, because I didn't do it this year. I'm gonna be trellising my tomatoes next year. And I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna research different ways to do it to make it efficient. I'm also getting different tomato seed varieties because I want to put back a lot of tomatoes. So I want stuff that's gonna be very heavy producing. I am getting tomatoes finally off of this. This is a pasting tomato, so it's really good to put away to make sauces with. I currently see tons of ladybugs in here, which is really, really good. I would like for them to, so they're protecting my tomatoes, but I would like for them to be in other places in my garden, but they're here, so I'll take them for sure. And then I'm gonna be planting not potatoes, but peppers too. I want to bottle some hot sauce, so I'm gonna be looking for different varieties of peppers. There's things I want to put away for the year. That's kind of my goal for my garden next year, is to grow things that I can and put away so we can not only eat it fresh, but have it also for winter time. And then obviously this next year, it's not gonna be a chicken area. This is gonna be my pumpkin patch. So I'm also gonna grow cut flowers all along that corner, or that back corner there. Just a variety of seeds. I have tons of different varieties. I'm gonna do that, and then I'll have a walking path back behind it, and then this whole area will be nothing but pumpkins. This is our herb garden, and definitely will probably always stay our herb garden. My word, that's so loud. I have the elephant ears in there. I think they're really pretty. I did that because I thought it would just be pretty. I don't know exactly what type of herbs we'll plant over there, but we'll have herbs there next year again. But all of these beds are going to have herbs planted between all the produce. So those things are crazy. And so definitely we'll be planting those purple potted pole beans again next year. Those are amazing. This cherry tomato variety that I got, I don't know that I'm going to do anything with it next year. So we'll see. But yeah, definitely already thinking about next year and what I'm going to be doing. All right, this is where I have my potatoes growing. I have sweet potatoes right there that are growing. Planted all of this stuff late, but this is giving me hope that there is stuff growing underneath there. I don't plan on getting a large harvest from those at all. It's just fun to have stuff that you've grown. And then these are all my red potatoes back here. This may be where I plant sweet potatoes again next year. Not positive that I'm going to. This bed is still yet to be determined. And then again, I will probably change my mind on almost everything I've said today. But I do enjoy the sweet potatoes. This is a nice little space for them to come and get planted and just do their thing. And then too, you can eat these leaves and also feed them to the goats. So we will probably, it's nice to have them here because they're right next to the goat run. And then we have roses here. These are roses given to us by some friends. And definitely we'll keep the roses here. The goats can eat them. So whatever goes through the fence over there, they can have at it. I'm not certain if that one's gonna make it. Only time will tell on that one. It looks pretty dead to me. but this one's making it. And roses are beneficial to your garden, and they're beautiful. Well, they're beneficial to humans. My daughter's been collecting the rose hips and the rose petals for teas. All right, so the goal this year for this trellis was to have hops growing over it. I planted 2 different varieties of hops. One was a Cascade hop, and I can't remember what the other one was, but they both have like real floral scents to it. The benefit to hops is that they grow super fast. They're evergreen, so if you didn't want to chop them down at the end of the season, you can leave them up and they'll stay green, and which is something pretty to look at because it gets really brown here in the winter times, and especially when you have a brown coop, brown goat barn, brown fencing. It's brown, and that's depressing. It's not my favorite color, and so that was a plus for me on that. However, hops, when they're growing, need tons and tons and tons of water. We did not have as wet of a spring as I was anticipating. And I couldn't come out here and water them like I probably should have done, for obvious reasons. And it just is what it is. So what I'm doing for next year, what I did is on the other side of this, this is a 30-foot area to the other fence. From here, from this fence to the other, it's 30 feet. I dug up the roots of the rootstock of the hops, and I planted them all right here. So there's like 3 hops planted along this area. So they'll let them establish over the winter time. We've been having really wet winters, so I'm pretty sure that we'll probably have another wet winter. Watch us not, but we'll let those grow up and do their things. And then on the other side of this, I have birdhouse gourd seeds that I never got planted. So I'm gonna plant birdhouse gourds on the other side there, so they will have tons of shade next summer, and it won't be as hot in the chicken run as it can get. And then another thing that I won't be doing next year is growing peaches. That's okay, that's all right. But what we were able to do is plant the plum trees that I had to rehab in its place. So there's a plum here, and then there's a plum on the other side. The reason that these trees are planted where they are, where the plum tree here, the plum on the other side, and then the pear here. And the pear on the other side is that in the summertime, when they're all nice and full, eventually they'll cast a nice shade over the chicken run. Because right now, this is where they come and seek shelter from the harsh sun for the 2 months that we have it. So of all the things that I did this year, a lot of things were new to me that I grew. So you're just watching it and learning what it does. And so next year I know what I want to do more of, what I want to do less of, where I want to plant things for them to be productive, and where I want to keep things. I will likely change my mind. I usually always do 4, 5, 6, 10 times. But that's just the way it is. It's okay. Don't feel bad about changing your mind when it comes to this kind of stuff. But I do know more than I knew last year, and that's the goal, is to every year is to learn something new. Next year, shouldn't be going through chemo. All this cancer stuff should be behind me, and I'll have hair. Although this might be pretty nice here in the South. No, I'm growing my hair out. I do miss my hair. But I know more now this year. And I learned by watching. I'm better armed at preparing for bean beetles. That's my biggest pest this year. My squash Squash bugs have been the biggest pest I've had in the past. I don't have that many of them. And so this year it's trying to learn how to control the bean beetles. And so that's what I'm going to do, is research that so that way I can better control next year. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.
There's a new day.